Hi, Bean Beauties. Welcome in. Welcome in. Today, you're going to find a little bit of emotion in today's video. Today's all about what my handbags mean to me and how they trigger emotions and sometimes why I buy them. So if you're interested in that, come on back and I'll be happy to share that information with you. Okay, today is a tag video by the lovely and precious Luxe Lover Karolina. So Karolina tagged me on this video. She's been tagging me a lot. Thank you so much, Karolina. I greatly appreciate it. I'm so touched with the fact that you think so much of me to tag me in the videos. I'm sorry it's taking me so long to get to them, but now that I'm getting my permanent studio set up, I'm going to be able to do these videos. They come a lot easier because I can pull the items from my collection really easy and then put them right back really easy. So I'm really liking it. As soon as I get this all situated or in a way that it's well enough to show, then I will definitely do a video about it. So in the meantime, we're going to do today's tag, and today's tag is called 5 Bags That Trigger Emotions. And you know, I'm a sentimental person. I'm a sentimental buyer. I'm a collector of all things, lots of things. I just want to collect all the memories. I'm not only a collector of things, I want to collect all the memories and I want to remember everything, which is really hard. So the emotional bags, or finding bags that trigger emotions, is very easy because I can look around my studio and I see many bags that I remember when I bought them. I remember who I got them. I remember what reseller I got them from. You know, the people who I was talking to that moment. So lots of memories. But to narrow it down to just 5 bags, that's the hard part. But we're gonna try. We're gonna try. Alrighty, so we're gonna start. Actually, I'm gonna try to go in the circle of handbag life and YouTube life with you on this. So come along with the journey and we are gonna do this together. So the first bag is, let me get it, is this one. This is the Pebble Leather Domed Satchel from Dooney Bourke. So this is very different than a zip satchel. This is a dome satchel. So it's got the dome shape. It only has one zipper. The handles stay upright. They don't flop down like a zip satchel. And it does have the cross bodies here on the side this way. My first Dooney Bourke bag that I bought, brand new. I did get it on sale because I'm allergic to full price, as I always say. It has my initials DB built into it. I didn't have to pay extra, and they're substantial. Listen to that. I got this after discovering that Dooney Bourke was still around from my high school days, because Dooney Bourke was strong when I was going to high school. So I discovered that by finding Loves Couture. I will link her channel down below. Anybody that I mention, I will link them down in the description box so you can find their channels. And if you haven't already subscribed to them, please do so. I saw this. I, of course, fell in love with the red. This is before I had admitted that red was my power color, that, you know, it was the color for me. And I got her. You know, she's got feet on the bottom. She has all the things. Now, what I did discover about her as well too is that she's a heavy puppy. She has this much room. I want to fill her up, and so I had to be really careful and really learn not to fill her up. Just try to make sure and keep her on the bottom and not fill her up, not overweigh her. Also, Pebble leather is a heavy leather, and so Pebble leather is just heavy to begin with. So then you put stuff in it and it becomes even more and more heavy. So it took me a while to admit that, because I love Pebble leather. I wore the heck out of this in 2023, beginning 2024. I wore all the time. It's one of those that I get into it and I have trouble getting out of it. But I love her, and this is why she's an emotional trigger bag for me, because it reminds me of my foyer back into handbags to begin with, because I had been away from handbags per doctor's order for over 10 years. And I found my people. I found Dawn. So this is that bag. Okay. This one was a Mother's Day for 2024. And this was a gift from my mom's memory to me. So basically a gift from me to me, but on behalf of my mom's memory. She passed away over 10 years ago. And this bag is the bag that I fell in love with, the size I fell in love with at the beginning for the quilted tabby. I saw it and I loved it. Actually, I saw Melissa Adams Wade. She actually had the, I think maybe she bought the 20 is what she bought. Her husband bought it for her, and maybe it was the black and the silver. But then when I started looking them online, this is the one I fell in love with and I wanted it. It's an emotional bag for me for many reasons. It connected me to a lot of people in good, in good, how do I say it? In good times and in bad times. In good times and in sad times. So I saw Melissa wear this, Adams Wade, and I was like, I want to be like her. I want to be like Mike. I want to be like Melissa. I loved it. She looked beautiful carrying it. I thought I could look just as beautiful as her. And so I waited and waited for it to come in because she purchased one of the runway bags, I think, or one of the first bags that came out. Then because I'm allergic to full price, tried to find one on eBay when it was still in that in-between. I ended up finding a not so honest Japanese seller, which is thus why I'm a little leery sometimes, Japanese sellers. However, you know, everybody has a bad apple, and I found one. And so it was clearly a fake. But so I went through all the bad stuff, but this bag was still haunting me. And for Mother's Day of 2024, I just felt like I wanted to close that chapter and to make it a happy chapter. And I didn't want to, I really didn't want to buy it. I really didn't want to buy it because it had such a bad taste in my mouth. And the good thing was, up until then, they were out of stock on the website for a while. But just before Mother's Day, it had come back into stock. By that time, I had found an essay. Of course, now he's gone. We ordered this bag, and I got it for myself on behalf of my mom's memory, because I do that because Mother's Days are hard for me. They're a double-edged sword. I lost my mom. It's been many years, but sometimes it feels like it's just yesterday. And it's really ironic because the first few years, because I was so involved in taking care of everybody else, so you just didn't have time to think about yourself, you know. I mean, at least I didn't. So it wasn't until probably, I think I was in the third year or so after she had passed away, is really when it really kind of started hitting me. So then Mother's Day became this double-edged sword, because by this time my kids I've become a full-time empty nester. Kids are gone, you know, all of that. I don't know if it would have normally made an impact if I hadn't lost my mom, but you know, where you normally would say, okay, if the kids are gone, well, then you go spend time with your mom and go take her out to dinner and lunch or whatever, just have a gals day. There was none of that for me, and it was more evident at that time after 2019. So then in 2024, after all this stuff happened and I really wanted it, I just kept thinking and dreaming about my mom. And I thought, okay, you know, my mom was a great mom, and she always said, you're going to need to buy things to you from you and save a little bit of money here and there, because she says, I love you kids. And she says, and you've always tried to do good, but just know, she said, they're not always going to remember, or not always going to buy you what you really want, or what you really need, or what you really want, you know. And so she said, it's okay to do that for yourself. It's okay to do that for yourself. So this particular Mother's Day was hitting in 2024 a little bit extra hard. And when this came up, I said, okay, I'm going to bite the bullet and I'm going to buy it. And you know what? So happy I did. I have built some great memories. I've worn this several times, and all day outings when I went with the Tres Amigas from Deline and Laura the Camo Chica and Deline from Yoshia Lux. So yeah, it has some great fun memories along with that hotel. Okay, this is all about emotions, y'all. So buckle up, buckle up. Let me get the next bag. Okay, the next bag is also in 2024, towards the end of the summer 2024. And this is my Chanel reissue. And it's actually a bum bag, but I use it as a crossbody bag or a shoulder bag, but mainly crossbody bag. She's so soft. You know, I thought that, I mean, that Napa leather is soft, but this is just a little bit softer, just a little bit softer. It's a vintage bag, and the way it came across was I wasn't looking at Chanel, was not on my radar, was really right then is when like the heat of their quality issues had really come. They were raising their prices, and I just was like, I wasn't there for it. It wasn't on my mind. And then my husband said, hey, are you going to do something for your 1K subscribers? And I was like, no. At the 500, when I hit 500, I bought stickers and magnets, and I gave them out to any subscriber, viewer, and I sent some out to content creator friends who had wanted them or requested them. So anybody who requested them, as long as I had them before they ran out, I sent them out, and that was my thank you to the viewers, to you, the subs, the viewers, the content creators, for everybody out there in YouTube land. But I really hadn't thought about anything at 1K. I'm not sure why. I just hadn't. And he said, well, you ought to buy yourself something. You worked really, really hard. You're almost there. You ought to think about it. And I was like, well, you know, and he says, well, what about a fancy bag? What's a fancy bag? And I said, well, a Chanel. And he said, well, buy you Chanel. And he goes, I'll buy it. I'll buy it for you. And I was like, Chanel's are expensive, hun. And he said, well, I trust you. Well, then it just so happens, after he said that, he planted that seed in my mind. And that was a few months, 2 or 3 months before I actually reached it. And then It's Hadrian had this for sale, and he had it for sale for a little while. He had put it up, and then he had a Labor Day sale, I think. It didn't sell on Labor Day, and I sent him an email, and I said, hey, is that still available? He said, yes, it is. And I said, I buy a lot of bags from you. Can I do a friendly payment plan with you? And so forever, I had this on layaway with him, and he was just so sweet about it. And without him and knowing him, I would never have a Chanel bag. I would never be able to because he sold it for a really, really reasonable price, and it is in fantastic condition. Fantastic condition. It's the snap. It's just wonderful. And so this comes from my husband. So he purchased this for me. And would he remember that this is the bag he got me? No. No. But it was one of those that he thought enough about my journey. And he, from day one, him and my grandkids from day one were super, super supportive of me starting the channel. And oh, I'm going to get crying. Y'all just do not understand what y'all have done for me, and doing my channel, having my channel, and just being here and sharing a mutual love, and finding common ground has just meant the world. And it has boosted me out of such a bad emotional state that I didn't even know I was in. So this is definitely something special, because it also forged a great friendship with Hadrian, because then I had to contact him a lot to have to pay him. So, but just talking to him about it and working on this. So it really elevated his and my friendship, and it definitely was something super special from my husband. Let's get the next bag. Gosh, I just realized I went from happy to a sad happy, and then to a happy, and now we're going to a sad memory. Okay, this bag probably will never be used. I bought it because I was in a very, very sad, emotional time, and this actually made me smile for the first time in a while. And I had been crying a lot. We had come back from vacation in November of 2024, and our precious Maren Morris she waited for us to get home after, like, oh, we were gone for 12 days, 13 days. And then, and I mean, she barely made it a few hours. We woke up the next day and we tried to get her to the vet. Didn't really realize that she was sick. And then she passed away on us. And it was devastating. I mean, I was devastated. He was devastated. I had just barely gotten through losing Ginger, our beloved puppy dog, in March. And so when this happened, it just brought everything up, and it was so hard. Losing her, we had the guilt, you had the sadness. It was just hard, you know. And then couple on the fact that we had just lost our puppy dog. So it was a hard time. So when Hadrian put this on his live sale, I saw it. It made me smile. It was the first time I had smiled in a couple of weeks, like just really truly smiled. And I went ahead and said, it's mine, sold, because I guess it's just the heart. The heart just made me super happy. The look of it, and it's a camera bag. I like a camera bag, so I can use it. But I brought it solely because my heart was broken. She had took part of our heart with her, and then so did Ginger. But this, you know, was bought because after our Maren Morris died. So this is a memory bag for her. And I did do a video on it. So let me go to the next bag. Last but not least, takes us full circle. This bag was the first bag that I saw, well, okay, the second bag that I saw Dawn Loves Couture showcase. I fell in love with the color. I fell in love, it was Louis Vuitton, so I got introduced to Louis Vuitton, something other than the monogram. I just love this little bag, and I started kind of hunting and looking around for this bag at that time. Then I kind of forgot about it. I found other bags that I liked from Louis Vuitton that were in great price ranges, and I decided to go with those. Lo and behold, I didn't even know when I was on vacation, she sold it to Ed Braun. Ed Braun had it for a while, and then he discovered that it was too small for him. He loved the shape. He loved the color. He loved that it came from Dawn, but he had to pass it on because he needed to get something that was more functional for him. So he put it up for sale. He put it in his post, and I reached out to him and I said, hey friend, is that who I think it is, original bag? And he said, yes it is. And he sent me all the pictures, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need that bag. Can we work something out? Can we please work something out? And he did. So full circle now, this bag came to me, which was originally Dawn's, via the YouTube selling trading world, and it came to me, and it's a forever bag for me. It's definitely a forever bag for me. And Dawn had reached out to me and said that she was so happy that it found its way into my collection, and that she was so happy that it made me happy. And I said it does. It makes me ecstatically happy. So that's like full circle. So I started off with the Domed Satchel, finding Dooney, and then full circle, I have a bag from Dawn that is a different brand, but it's still a handbag. So I thought I'd take you on that journey with me to discover these bags. Okay, hold on just a second. Okay, so that was my 5 bags that trigger emotion. I thank you, Karolina, for tagging me. I greatly appreciate it. I love the fact that you're thinking about me. It really warms my heart. Alrighty, so if you have not done so, please head over to it's Luxe Lover Karolina's channel. I'll link her in the description box. Anybody who I talked about, I'll link in the description box so that you can go over and find them. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Love y'all. Bye-bye.